Good morning, students. So today we are going to revise chapter number 15, air around us. Okay, air around us. So first of all, we will come to know what are the different properties of air. So as we all know, air is colorless, air is odorless. Okay, then we have odor means it doesn't have any taste, and it is tasteless. So basically we have three properties of air: colorless, odorless and tasteless. And same property water also have. Water is also colorless, odorless and tasteless, in spite of the fact that air is very much important for living organism. Okay, so this was all the properties of air. Okay, then let's move to its composition or its constituents. Composition or constituent of air. So air is a mixer, as we all know. Air is not pure, so it contains various gases and other things present in it. So let's talk about constituent of air. Constituent of air. Okay, so air contains different types of gases. Air contains different types of gases. As for example, it contains nitrogen, number one. Okay, it contains oxygen. It contains carbon dioxide. Then it contains water vapor. Then it contains dust particles. Okay, dust particles means all the solid impurities present in the air. At last, it contains noble gases. It contains noble gases, and in noble gases we have various types of other gases like helium, argon, neon, krypton, etc. So these are all constituent of air: nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust particles and noble gases. So these constituent, okay, that means these are only the constituent, but we have some volume also present in it. As for example, nitrogen is present almost 78% of the air. So if air is 100%, 78% is composed of nitrogen. Oxygen we have 21%. So in air the amount of oxygen is 21%. Then we have carbon dioxide, which is very less, 0.03%. Okay, 0.03%. Then we have noble gases, which is 0.93%. Then water vapor and dust particles, almost 0.04%. So we can say that carbon dioxide, water vapor and noble gases, they are present in a trace amount. That means very little, 1%. major constituent is nitrogen. Nitrogen is the major constituent. Okay, it is not important, but it is a major constituent in the atmosphere. Major constituent means it occupies almost 78% of the air. Okay, so this was all about constituent and its proportion, that means volume. Okay, so now let's talk about its source. Let's talk about its source, that means from where nitrogen comes. So it is naturally present, it is present naturally. Then oxygen, it is also present naturally, but by the sideways, but at the same time plants during photosynthesis, they release oxygen in the what you can say atmosphere. Then carbon dioxide, mostly by respiration by animals and exhaust of fossil fuel. That means burning of fossil fuel. So by two processes, by respiration of animals and by exhaust of fossil fuels, carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Similarly, water vapor, naturally dust particles due to human activities like construction, okay, then construction and other activities by which human perform. Then noble gas, this is also natural. So here we came to know that what constitute air. So air mostly constitute nitrogen, which is 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.03%, water vapor dust particles 0.04%, noble gases 0.93%. Okay, then we have how it comes. Okay, that means how it is produced. So nitrogen is present naturally and it is used by plants to from the soil, that means to fix nutrients. Okay, and oxygen, it also comes naturally and also from the plants during the process of photosynthesis. Then carbon dioxide we have, okay, is given out by the process of respiration in animals and by burning of fossil fuel, mostly carbon dioxide is released. Then water vapor, dust particles and noble gas we have, that means which is present in a very trace amount. Trace amount means is present very little. Okay, then another important things, all these gases have very low solubility in water except carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is most soluble gas. Okay, rest they have less solubility, but carbon dioxide the only gas which is more soluble than any other gas present in the atmosphere. Okay, so this was all about constituent of air. Then its proportion. Proportion means in what percentage these gases are present. So as we all know, came to know that two gases constitute almost 99% of the atmosphere, which is nitrogen and oxygen. So the percentage of nitrogen, ratio of nitrogen and oxygen is 4:1, is 4:1. How we can say that it is 4:1? Take 78 for nitrogen and 21 for oxygen. So if we take this as a round figure, you will get 80:20. So if we just divide it, we will get 4:1. So the proportion of the ratio of nitrogen and oxygen is 4:1. Okay. And how we can prove that there is a presence of oxygen in the air? So by simple experiment, and that experiment you can see every day, burning of fuels, okay, or burning of LPG, presence of nitrogen we don't have to see, but how we can see the presence of oxygen present in the atmosphere? Okay, by burning of, or simply by burn, because oxygen helps in burning of substance. Okay, so if you burn a candle, okay, it will obviously burn, but if you cover the candle with a beaker or something solid, okay, you will see that the candle will stop burning because it needs oxygen to burn. Okay, it needs oxygen to burn. Then comes how we can conclude that there is a carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, by performing a simple test where our sample of lime water is kept in a test tube. Okay, by this way lime water turns milky. Lime water turns milky. Milky means like a milk. Okay, when it is, and this proves that atmosphere or the air contains carbon dioxide. Then presence of water vapor, simple experiment, how we can show the presence of water vapor? Okay, by the process of condensation. Okay, when you boil water, and if you just cover it with a, what you can say, the covering metal lid, okay, you will see that there we will find a droplets of water. Okay, that proves that water is present in the atmosphere, or water vapor is present in the atmosphere. So one definition is important: the content of water vapor in the air is expressed in humidity. The content of water vapor in air is expressed in terms of humidity. In terms of humidity. That means if anyone says what is the humidity of atmosphere today, so if the humidity, if it is said that humidity is 100%, then we can say that 100% of the air is composed of water vapor. That means water vapor is present in large quantity. Similarly, if it says that it is only 20%, then we can say the air contains less amount of water vapor. So water vapor is the only thing which changes in the atmosphere from place to place and from time to time, else remain constant. Other things remain constant. Okay, so this was all about the presence of oxygen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. and of dust particles also experiments we can do. Now let's move towards how do plants and animals get these gases. So as we all know, all living organisms, they need air to survive. Especially animals and human beings need oxygen for their survival, whereas plants need carbon dioxide for the preparation of food. So how do they get it? So we will revise that portion. Okay, so all living things need energy for their activities. So all living organisms need energy for their activities, and that energy, how do we get? We get it after we consume food, and that food is burnt by the process of or with the help of oxygen. Okay, and that process is called respiration. Okay, so respiration is the process in which food is burnt due to the presence of oxygen in our body. Okay, so we get this oxygen directly from air, from dissolved water, and from soil. So living organisms, that means mostly animals and humans, they get oxygen from three sources. Number one, from directly air. That means oxygen is present in the atmosphere and we can directly use it. Okay, mostly mammals, animals and birds, they use direct oxygen from the air. Okay, so they have a specialized organ which is called lungs. Through lungs they get oxygen directly from the air. Who? Mammals, animals and birds. From dissolved water, as we all know, water is mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. So the dissolved oxygen can be taken by fishes and some aquatic animals. Okay, and they also have some specialized organ which is called gills. So they don't use lungs, they use gills to get dissolved oxygen from the water, especially fishes. Then we have from soil. So animals who mostly live on soils. Example, we have cockroach, sorry, not cockroach, we have a leech, we have earthworm. Okay, they take oxygen from the soil through skin. Okay, earthworm, leech. So they take oxygen through tracheas. Oxygen through tracheas. So they don't have lungs, they don't have gills, they use tubes. Okay, tracheal tubes or respiratory tubes to get dissolved oxygen. Then you will move to exchange of gases. Okay, as we all know, oxygen is consumed. Okay, exchange of oxygen. So we have animals and plants. So animals give out carbon dioxide. Okay, so animals give out carbon dioxide which is used by plants in the process of photosynthesis, whereas plants take in carbon dioxide with the help of other things, that means sunlight and chlorophyll. After preparing food, what they do? They release oxygen. Okay, and this oxygen used by animals in the process of respiration. Okay, so we have a, what you can say, exchange of gases. The carbon dioxide is released by animals during the process of respiration, which is used by plants for preparation of food by the process of photosynthesis, which release oxygen, which is again used by animals, and this cycle keeps on, continues throughout the life. Okay, so these are all exchange of gases. So apart from respiration, carbon dioxide is also released by burning of fuels, fossil fuel. Burning of fossil fuel also carbon dioxide is released. Okay, so not so important other things. So photosynthesis, what do you mean by photosynthesis? It is the process by which green plants, it is the process by which green plants prepare food. Okay, it is the process by which green plants prepare food using sunlight and chlorophyll. What they use? Using sunlight and chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is very much important. Sunlight and chlorophyll is very much important for preparation of food by plants.